Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Dead Reflections Podcast. We are your hosts,
Caleb.
I'm Kolby.
and I'm your boy Josh, aka Drifter Voyages, and this is episode 19.
I was just thinking, like, every fucking episode is the same. We gotta start changing that shit up.
The one thing that stays consistent is our names.
Thank you
But not the
for
way we say
watching
'em.
and listening.
Oh, okay, fair.
New episodes drop every Monday and Friday. Our goal here is to give someone at the tables the chills, and if we're lucky, we might even send those spooks along to wrong camera.
multiple
You.
tables.
Before we get into the show, we have a couple FWF updates.
You said change it up.
not from one table to plural table. Upcoming show dates. We have July 9th in Midland at Sound Deep Forever Fest, August 4th in San Angelo at the Dojo, August 5th the next day in Houston at the White Swan, and we just played 2 dates in Austin, one at Hole in the Wall and one with Release the Captive, Never Rest, and Fortune Hearts, and just this last Friday at Fourth Tap with Cezora and Never Rest. We always have new shows in the works, but we wait till dates and venues are secure before announcing them. We have 2 brand new shirts available only at shows. Our Broken Tongue shirt, which has a skull with a dagger through it and a song title written across the chest. The other is our song Injustice. Our logo is in front and a mace accompanied by lyrics from the song on the back. Come to a show, check them out while they're available. And on the topic of merch, Kolby is showing off that one that I was just talking about. On the topic of that, Kolby has ours on. What do you have on, Josh?
I am wearing a Death Wish Coffee shirt. It's just a nice and simple and sweet. And then I'm promoting myself on my own stream with my hat.
Very good.
What about you?
Excellent. So I've been waiting to break this one out.
Oh shit!
This is
The
from
skull is in the way.
my
shout out OG Cayec streams.
Yeah. Cowabummer, dude. That is amazing.
So-
Can we bring this
Please,
and make it into an actual thing?
Please
That it
tell
is
them where
actually.
it's from.
So that was from a game called TKO on Jackbox Party Pack, and the idea of is that someone makes a drawing, someone makes a word, and someone else picks them, puts them together, and then whatever makes you laugh more wins.
Yeah.
This was the winning shirt.
I swear to God, if Bitter's not in here
So,
at any point tonight,
Bitter came up
I'm gonna
with
be very disappointed.
Bitter Instinct, who is also a streamer. You should check her out.
She might be streaming.
She might be. I don't know. She put the Cowabummer dude, and then our friend Fabled Faye made the drawing of the. This was when Oh No, Our Table was very popular.
Our table.
So it's a little Roblox guy. It's a little Roblox guy
table.
with a table, and it says Cowabummer
It's
dude,
broken.
and that is from my personal stream.
Yeah, dude. I feel like I was there for that one.
You probably were.
Yeah, that was super fun. That's a really fun and like interactive game.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, man, I need to bust it out.
Oh,
We all
and
need to be streaming more.
shout out Odin. He said he really liked my book. Here's my book. If y'all haven't seen my book,
It's a big book.
it's a big book.
It do book. You
They
know?
do book.
Big
yeah,
big book
they do
vibes.
big-
Hashtag
And
big
again,
book vibes.
we mentioned the shows briefly, but thank you, Odin, and your friend Austin and Abraham for coming out to that show.
Yes,
and,
thank you so much.
yeah, all the people that came out. That was a fun couple shows that we did back to back there.
Yeah, that was your boy was tired, but it was worth it. We made a lot of new friends and had a good time.
Indeed.
A wonderful time. It
So-
was a wonderful time.
Last episode, we drew from Steven Alexander, and
Excuse
we
me.
got bridges. Elvira will be able to
Bridges.
show you that.
Jeffrey Bridges.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Can we get a close up on the bridges?
Yeah, it's about.
Oh, my bad. Bridge.
We got Spooky Elvira Cam for viewers only.
It is fairly spooky. So we have
Yeah.
bridges. I did go with a bridge here in Texas. It'll have a little bit of a setup, and we'll get into the main story and a couple of other ideas from it. Josh, what's yours over?
I did mine on the Hanging Tooth Bridge.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Is that all you're just gonna leave us
Just
with
gonna,
that?
just gonna hit us with the title. All right, cool.
Yes. Kolby?
Well, mine has nothing to do with bridges whatsoever.
Which is completely fair. That's an option. These are just suggestions that we pull.
Mine is about a cryptid,
Ah.
a specific cryptid called Eyeless Jack.
Eyeless, like as in the man ain't got no eyes.
Correct.
He ain't got no nipples.
Is this one of the, I think, famous creepypasta?
Yes, very,
Okay,
very, very popular creepypasta.
Eyeless
and
Jack.
and I will be fair. Credit to AZElf 5000, aka Thunder Joey.
Okay.
He wrote.
I'm surprised that
big Thunder Joey fan, huh?
I am. No, I'm surprised. Listen, I know his discography very well. I'm very surprised that he came with
His
it.
first 2 albums really hit me.
I'm surprised that a story that is that popular has an author associated with it. Usually, all the big ones don't have them. That's
where the
the poster you
creepypasta,
found.
as of right now, that's who it's credited to. It could be wrong,
Yeah.
as in like the actual author, but
They get a shout out regardless.
Shout out and sorry because I added a lot to the story.
That's fair.
Because it was fairly short and fairly odd.
Listen,
like the
you
way
know what the craziest part of all this is? It's our podcast. We can do what we want.
yeah,
I can add what I want to my story whenever I want.
I can do whatever the fuck I want. But yeah, are you ready for some spooks? We
I
need
am
to light
indeed
the ceremonial candle.
Let's light the candle. And did you tell us
Don't burn
anything about
yourself,
the cryptid,
Josh.
or are we just going to jump right into it?
His name's Eyeless Jack.
Oh, that's right.
and
You told me straight to my
This is
face,
the
and we had a whole
story.
conversation about
Yep.
it.
And when we almost caught
My bad.
Eyeless Jack Sparrow.
There's a little bit of setup, little creepy setup, and then I'll get into the story.
Okay.
But yeah, this is Eyeless Jack.
Good old Eyeless Jack.
You wake alone in your room, disturbed by some noise close to your bed. At first, when you open your eyes, all you see is darkness and black. You stare straight up and listen, straining your ears to pick up the faintest and smallest of sounds. The sounds on the edge of hearing, the sounds of noise being withheld, of something deliberately trying to be silent, to stalk and to hunt. Your eyes begin to adjust. You still see only darkness, but now with terror you begin to realize it's not the darkness of the room, but the dark empty void staring out from the hollow eye sockets of the thing leaning over your bed.
Okay, I thought that was the end, and I was like, well, goddamn. All right.
Hello, my name is Mitch.
Hi, Mitch.
I'm here to tell you guys about an experience I had. I don't know if it was paranormal or whatever people use to describe supernatural phenomena, but after that thing visited me, I believe in the paranormal, that's for sure. A week after my house was foreclosed, I was unpacking. Just gonna give this a little. Excuse me. A week after my house was foreclosed, I was unpacking my things at my brother Edwin's house. Edwin liked the idea of me moving in since we had not seen each other for over 10 years. I was excited at first, but there's always that 5% doubt in the back of my mind about every decision I make. That night, I fell asleep easily, for I was exhausted. The next couple of days proved to be pretty normal. After the first week, though, I heard rustling noises coming from outside at about 1 in the morning. At first, I thought it was a raccoon, so I ignored it and tried to fall asleep. Damn raccoons.
Yep.
The next morning, I told Edwin about it, and he told me he heard it as well. The next night, however, I thought I heard my window opening and a loud thump, as if something entered my room. I darted up and looked around my room, but I saw nothing. Something told me I wasn't alone. I had a terrifying nightmare that night, one that I couldn't wake myself from. Something or someone was in my room with me, but I couldn't tell who or what it was because my vision was covered by a deep navy blue filter. Almost as if I was in the deepest part of the dark ocean that was humanly possible. I don't know what this thing wanted, but it didn't want me to see it. The next morning, Edwin dropped his coffee cup when he saw me. He ran to the bathroom and quickly ran to me. He held up a mirror and I saw myself. I had a large gash in my left cheek, and it started profusely gushing blood. Edwin quickly handed me a kitchen towel to press on my face to stop the bleeding. How had I not noticed a huge blood puddle on my pillow or all over my clothes? And why hadn't I felt any pain? I couldn't make sense of any of it. After I was rushed to the hospital, my doctor told me I must have been sleepwalking. He wanted to check the rest of my body to see if I cut myself anywhere else. I took my shirt off and I heard my doctor let out a, oh my. Then he showed me something that made my blood turn cold. He turned me to a mirror to reveal a sewn up incision where one of my kidneys were.
Oh my God.
I stared into his eyes, mine widening. "I'll be right back," he said, very alarmed, then closed the door. I sat in the office cubicle, utterly distraught at what he just shown me. I wanted this to be part of the dream, but I was very awake and very conscious. I just could not for the life of me process anything that I discovered within the past hour. First the dream, then the hash on my face, now a possible organ missing. What the fuck is going on? As I began to have tunnel vision and my head starting to get extremely light, I started to sway back and forth on the brink of passing out. The door opened to the office. The sudden break in silence snapped me back to reality as my doctor and another nurse came in and asked if I was feeling okay. They could tell I wasn't taking the news too well. The doctor then asked me where I had gone to get my kidney surgically removed, to which I told him I didn't. I told him I had woken up and my brother had shown me my half-open face, and soon after I was in his office. I asked if I had been under the influence, or he asked if I had been under the influence, to which I said I've smoked weed once when I was 16, but by the way, I'm 27. He then told me he wanted to run some drug tests to see if I was under the influence. In his words, sober people don't not remember their kidney being removed. Which, I mean, that makes sense. He took a blood test, and after he took another look at the stitches on my lower back. No bruising, no rash. Whoever took your kidney out, they sure know how to stitch up an incision, he said with a smirk. I asked him if I'd be okay with one kidney, to which he replied, "We'll find out from these blood tests, won't we?" God, I fucking hate doctors.
Fuck that doctor. What the fuck?
The rest of the day I spent in the living room of my brother's house. I felt a sense of unwelcoming from my room. Eventually, I would have to go up there to sleep. That night was my breaking point. Around midnight, I woke up to see a truly horrifying sight. I was staring face to face with a creature with a black hoodie and a dark blue mask, with no mouth or mouth, staring it down at me. The thing that had scared me the most was that it had no eyes, just empty black sockets. The creature also had some black substance dripping from its sockets. I slowly grabbed my phone from the nearby nightstand and took a picture. That was one of my biggest mistakes. I completely forgot my camera automatically uses the flash in complete darkness. As soon as the flash went off, the creature lunged at me and tried to claw open my chest to get to my lungs. It plunged its nails into my chest, and I plunged my feet into its chest, sending it flying across the room and crashing against my wall. Holding my bleeding chest, I ran out of my room, grabbed my wallet. I would need the money. I'm not one to use a firearm for any reason than sport, but this is more than a reason. I was going to kill that thing. I ran out of my brother's house into the night. As I rounded the street corner, I could see the gun store in sight, just about 5 blocks down the street. What I hadn't noticed was that I lost quite a lot of blood. I quickly faded and fell unconscious about 3 blocks away from my destination. I woke up in the hospital. First thing I hear, "Long time no see, huh, Mitch?" My doctor, the same one who treated me before. "Well, I have good news and bad news, Mitch. The good news is that you had minor injuries, and your parents are coming to pick you up." I sighed with relief. "The bad news is that your brother, Edwin, he was killed by some thing. I'm terribly sorry." My parents took me back to Edwin's house to collect my remaining belongings, which I did. Upon entering my room, I was scared, but remained calm. I grabbed my phone and then stopped dead in my tracks. In the hallway leading to my room, I saw the stained carpet still wet from Edwin's pool of blood. I gagged and covered my mouth. I got over the nausea, but soon the tears started rolling down. I got closer to the stain when I noticed there was a small trail of red stained carpet leading to the bathroom. I slowly creeped open the bathroom door to see the blood leading to the sink. In the sink was my stolen, half-eaten kidney, covered in some black viscous liquid substance.
And it's just over.
Yep.
Fuck that. I don't like that at all. The fucking guy.
Now you get to envision a Eyeless Jack for the rest of your days.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be a little bit more information on him.
Nope.
That's great.
So
that's good.
So what I pictured was, you know, the meme where like it shows it's like the guy and it's like kind of like a side profile and he doesn't have any eyes and it's like him going like,
Bit.
Yes.
like,
yes.
he's like sad or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I pictured.
It's like the
whenever-
hand-drawn one.
Yeah. That's kind of like what I pictured, but scary.
So
There is a picture, I think, with
yeah,
him.
there is a picture of Eyeless Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker.
That's the picture that he supposedly took?
I'm gonna hold it up for everyone.
Sure.
Oh, man. For those who are just
Gonna do-
listening,
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
it's literally like a figure that's completely like black body-wise, and then it's just like, it literally looks like Jack Skellington.
A little bit.
Like there's even like a smile. That's fucked, bro. Dude, the
Yeah,
black
just
and
had-
white
yeah,
just makes it
has
worse.
No eyes whatsoever. It's just giant gaping holes.
Holes into fucking, obviously he doesn't have a soul. Isn't it like eyes are the gateway to the soul or whatever? No, that guy ain't got no soul.
Or it's a giant gateway.
Yeah. Or
'cause
it's
he's
just
got-
only
It's just
soul.
a
big soul.
It's a black hole of a gateway.
It just
Yeah.
absorbs souls. Many a soul.
Oh,
I don't like that story.
It is very creepy. I don't
You're
like,
welcome.
I don't like the kidney thing.
Yeah, the fact
It's very
that
oh
weird.
yeah. That's part of his lore.
Oh, that he just takes kidneys.
No, not just
Oh,
kidneys,
okay.
like organs. Yeah.
Still.
so
Like you could take your heart, you could take your brain.
I don't know if
Dang,
I've ever
that
told
suck
you
if
this.
I woke up and my heart was gone.
See, that's the thing is I think I just realized what you said. But no, I think if you were to take your heart or your brain, it wouldn't like appease him because it would instantly kill you.
Okay.
So
likes
he
suffering.
wants to see
Yeah.
you realize that it's gone. So this is a weird
How
time.
long can you live without a liver?
You just need dialysis. This is a weird
yes.
time to say that I used to have this weird fear that I would wake up in like a hotel bathroom with my kidneys
You
taken
told us
out.
about this.
Oh, so you
wow.
knew that and you
I
just did it.
honestly didn't,
Oh,
but now I do. I'm gonna find more
I used
kidney
to have
stories.
nightmares of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know that's not a like uncommon fear, and a lot of this is the thing that made me think of was Radio Rental just put out a new episode, and I'm not gonna get into it, but a lady is, I don't know how to go about it without spoiling anything. She's missing an organ whenever she
Oh,
goes.
yeah,
to-
yeah.
Oh yeah, I, remember
I
that.
listened to it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you get it.
Yeah. This
It
shit
made me
was
think of
crazy.
that. And she kind of thought it was alien abduction
Yo,
or something.
that's
Yeah.
crazy because I was like, I could have swore I just listened to a story about like someone's organ.
listened to it
It was
today on my
her.
way
It was
back
her
from Well, yeah, it's, I know what it is. I didn't wanna-
reproductive thing.
Yeah. Okay.
The reproductive thing. What's that?
I don't know.
Wow. I don't know, Mr. Father over here.
I don't know how you want to respond.
I'm just trying to be
Let's
awkward.
hit a break and hit the next story.
All right. We will be right back after this brief sponsor break.
So yeah. Anyway.
Vaginas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Got that.
It's not what we were going to talk about. All right. So,
Bridges.
Now we get into
Bridges to the other. I'm tired. Anyway, okay, so my story.
Is anyone going to talk about like the significance of bridges?
Okay, yeah. How about you do that?
No, he doesn't have
No, okay, so essentially, like, the reason why bridges are in lore so much is because it's literally linking one point to another. So
It's a transition.
yeah, it's kind of and
A
it's
liminal
kind of like
space, if you will.
it's kind of like a symbol in a way. And so a lot of people believe that that's why spirits and things are attracted to that place, or evil entities use it as a means to essentially.
I thought of an idea to put in Stephen Alexander, and that's liminal spaces.
What does that mean? Those big words.
Look it up.
I don't even know how to spell it.
But no, essentially, liminal space is a transition.
Oh, okay.
But it can be metaphorically used in several like contexts. Like it's really a movie making film or movie making term.
It's a film about movie making.
No, it's a movie making term, and it's about mainly set design. And like a lot of movies use liminal space to like make a person feel uncomfortable.
Interesting.
It's like mainly you see it in like big open empty rooms. Like The Shining has a lot of them where it's just like empty rooms with like no furniture.
And for some reason that like it's just not right to the human brain.
Yeah.
Video games use it a lot too. Like whenever you're being chased by something and it's like just hallways and stuff.
Have you seen the backroom shit on TikTok and
Yeah, I've been
all
wanting
that?
to play
That's
that.
like the prime example of liminal space.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
that'll go in the jar.
Yeah.
Along with any other suggestions that the
yes,
viewer or
if you
watcher might have.
Exactly. If you have suggestions, please DM us comments on a video or an episode or whatever, and just
At the show, we
us
got
ideas.
one from Abram.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm ready for that one to get in there because it sounded creepy.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even know what it is. I didn't get to see
I
it.
won't
So
tell
you're
you.
gonna fuck with me. Anyway, so here is my story. It's about a bridge and some happenings that happened there to some people at this one place at this certain time. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, right? I know. That's a good description, right? Okay.
Wow.
This is my story of the Hanging Tooth Bridge. All right. Growing up, I was always interested in the paranormal. Something about the excitement that the unknown brings was almost intoxicating to me. Partly for that reason, when I was a teenager, me and my friends would go out and do ghost hunts at creepy abandoned buildings and spooky-looking cemeteries. We never really found or saw anything, though. We would, of course, always hype ourselves up and still get scared. Man, it was a rush.
What a rush.
So, of course, when my buddy came over one day and said he had found stories online about an actual haunted bridge only an hour away, we all got super excited and decided to go check it out that very night. So we were all wannabe, quote unquote, wannabe ghost hunters. Had voice recorders for picking up EVPs, cool ghost hunter looking flashlights. I loved taking disposable cameras to try and catch a ghost on film. We all piled into my Mitsubishi Galant and headed to the small town that this bridge was located at. Once we made it into the town, we stopped at this mom and pop diner. Spoke with a few older locals whom we thought would know about the bridge. Joey, my friend, was a very outgoing person and not afraid to strike up a conversation. He asked an older gentleman sitting alone at a booth some questions. "Hey there, sir," Joey asked, in a more demanding tone than a questioning tone. "We are paranormal investigators, and we have heard stories about a haunted bridge in this area. We were wondering if you knew what we were talking about." The old man studying the nice, fresh, hot cup of coffee the waitress just brought him, looking down at the steaming cup, and never meeting eyes with Joey, he responded, "Oh, you kids must be talking about Hanging Tooth Bridge. You don't want to go into all that. A lot of kids, all like you, went missing over the years in that area. It's not safe." This really got our excitement going. This whole conversation with this old man seemed straight out of a horror movie, I thought. Of course we are going to go to this Hanging Tooth Bridge. Ash, our good friend whom I forgot to bring up before, couldn't hold in her excitement. She had to ask, "Why such a strange name?" The old man finally looked up. He He looked her dead in the eye. With the creepiest old man voice, he said, "Because they found each of those kids' teeth hanging on a string on that bridge. Over 27 years worth of missing kids to be exact. I would say probably around 19 kids in total." We all went silent for a long moment, the old man's words ringing in the air. Then, ding ding, the door of the diner opening broke the silence. Ash kind of shuddered, and me and Joey laughed in excitement and nervousness. After picking up a map and getting the old man to point out where this bridge was, we set off. Driving up a nice and beautiful bluff. It felt like a solid 15-20 minutes went by. It was pretty dark, and Ash even made the comment that she would have turned around by now. We were beginning to think that we were lost, and then there it was. A terrifying display of metal and wood, creaking as the wind blew. I remember looking over the side at one point and seeing just how far of a drop-off it was. Maybe 2 stories high or more. We grabbed our flashlights, our voice recorders, and my disposable camera from the car. We were determined to comb over every inch of this bridge. We had parked on the side about 100 feet from the entrance to the bridge. As we were walking up, a fog was moving in. The amount of euphoria I was feeling with how this whole day had gone so far, I was on cloud 9. I remembered about what the old man said, how the bridge got its creepy nickname from missing kids' teeth. I made it a note to look for these teeth. The bridge was 2 lane in width, so pretty wide. Me and Ash went to the right, and Joey to the left. Why we split up was to cover more ground, of course. The fog was thick at this point. We could literally stand on one side of the bridge and not see the other side. Me and Ash walked slowly across, shining our lights on every beam, every single place we could think teeth would be able to hang from a string. We hadn't seen anything yet. I yelled at Joey, "Hey, man, have you seen anything yet?" No response. "Joey, don't be a dick, dude." We hear laughing. Ash giggles and says, "Fuck you, Joey." "Man, this bridge is a lot longer than we thought, huh?" I stated to Ash. "Yeah, it seems like it," she said. "It's probably just because we're walking so slow." I started to agree with her when we heard what sounded like running. I could feel the vibration of fast-paced footsteps on the wood beams of the bridge. Closer and closer and closer, and then Joey comes into view. Smiling and so excited he could hardly contain it. Guys, I found something," he said, trying to catch his breath. "What is it?" I asked. "Come, look, it's over here," Joey said. And he started off back to the other side of the bridge. We followed. The fog felt even thicker on the other side where Joey led us to. There really was a string with hanging teeth, and went from one beam to another, making the string curve into a smile. Joey started to cheer, and he told me to take a picture. I was already on it. I snapped a few, excuse me, and on the last photo, I thought I saw something else in the flash. On the last photo, I told Ash and Joey to stand underneath the teeth. They did, and I had taken a step back to get a wider shot of them and the bridge. When the camera flashed, I felt like I saw something else next to them. We walked around a few more minutes. The fog rolled out and a car driving by ended the spooky vibe for us, so we called it a night. The next day, after getting back, I went to the local Walgreens to get the photos I shot developed. As I'm flipping through the pictures of the bridge, I remembered how I felt like I saw something in the one of Joey and Ash. I skipped through till I found that picture. The state of shock I felt almost made me fall to my knees. There in the center, under the stringed up smile, was Joey and Ash, standing side by side like friends do. Off to the right, though, there was a man watching us from behind one of the metal beams. He was old and almost looked familiar. He was smiling and looking right at the camera. I showed the guys this and they both looked terrified. Joey swears it was the old man from the diner, but I can't remember his face for some reason. I'll never forget that day, only because it was spooky, but because we could have possibly been the next victims, and that makes me have shivers go down my spine. Honestly, I think the fog leaving and that car driving by saved us from having our teeth added to the smile of the hanging tooth bridge.
Damn.
Pretty goddamn good.
Thank you.
Very, very creepy.
Yeah, I tried. I wrote that.
I was trying to add to the fog.
I know.
But y'all didn't really care.
By the time it got to him, it was dissipated.
Yeah. But yeah,
we need a smoke machine.
I actually got a little bit of influence looking
Okay, I
up
was gonna ask you.
like some bridge stories, and it always most bridge stories that have like a possibility of dying in a way or something, like usually it's either a ghost and you see a ghost and you leave, or it's like something bad happened here and you got to get out. And it's always like this, they always seem to go towards this thing where it's like something happens that interrupts right before they would become a part of the lore of the bridge. And so I really liked that. So that's why I played on that with the whole thing of the fog leaving and then the car driving by. It's
less about the story, more about the writing aspect, because that interests me as well. Did you draw inspiration from anything in order to get the teeth, the idea of teeth being strung out? Or was that complete imagination?
No, that was complete imagination.
That's very good mental image.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I could picture it perfectly, like just like
just
the townspeople,
one beam to
like
another, and it just smiles at you.
Yeah,
and
well, and then I guess I divulged in my brain is like I again, thing happened in brain, and I have a whole story that goes on, and it's not.
Dude, you should add to it. That'd be cool if we had like a
build
thing where you just keep going.
Basically, I thought that like the townspeople would be like driving by, and they'd be like, "Oh, there's another one." Like, and it's like every time they see a new one, it's like, okay, a new body pops up.
Yeah, and it's like they know that they need to look for,
or like check
for there's someone missing. Obviously,
yeah, exactly. Someone's missing. Oh, that's creepy.
Man. God, I'm just imagining, like, you know, like the bridges that have like locks on them.
Yes.
Like just not locks, just
teeth.
Just teeth.
Ooh.
Like, the locks that they lock on the chain link and all that.
Brutal. I like that. That'd be like a good like metal thing.
So before Caleb, you go into your story, I wanted to share that actually you said stuff that happens that makes them like leave, or that's the end of their like story.
Yeah.
There was a episode of Paranormal Files that they went to. I forget where it is, somewhere in Texas, but they went to a bridge, and I want to say it was Goatman's Bridge.
It was probably either Goatman's or Donkey Lady.
Is that the guy from Austin?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, he's from South Dakota, but he lives in Austin. Yeah. They went to Goatman's Bridge, and the night that they went, some group of people were shooting a film, like there at night.
Oh shit!
And they were like, "Well, that's kind of fucking shitty," because like we were like he does overnight videos.
Yeah.
And so there's just a gang of people at the bridge. Yeah. And it turns out they went and like talked to some of them. A girl got bit by a fucking snake while like recording, and like she was like on the verge of like having not a good time.
Oh, what?
Like they were just like they didn't know what to do, and they were like, go to the fucking hospital.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And but yeah, they decided to do their video in the woods in the area instead of on the bridge. And I was like, something probably would have happened. Like that was the event that caused them to do what they did. Like it's the
whole
creepy
movie.
Mental,
It's the whole movie plot line of like, oh, we can't do our normal thing. Let's just go. Like, we're here. Why not we just go do this? Like, we're already here. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
something happens.
Man.
And then that'll kind of segue into Goatman's Bridge, as they talk a little bit about how he wasn't just seen or on the bridge or anything. It's in the local wooded areas and everything too.
Oh, so he's not just completely tied to the bridge.
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
But the story won't go into it that much. That's just kind of like online reports. Is like we saw him while driving past the bridge, or like in the area or something like that. So I do have a little bit of setup. We'll go over that real quick, and then we'll get into the story.
Okay.
So originally called Old Alton Bridge, it's a historic crossing point over the Hickory Creek, connecting Denton to Copper Canyon. It was built in 1884 by King Iron Bridge Manufacturing Company and was originally built to support horse-drawn carriages and cattle, later on automobiles. The bridge gets its name from a once small village to the now abandoned community of Alton. The bridge was still in use all the way up until 2001, when it was retired from motor vehicle use because a new alternate route became available, one made of steel and concrete that could handle 2 lanes of traffic, and from then on, this would mainly become a footbridge. Before drivers would have to slow down, signal with a flash of lights, or honk as to who would be crossing first. The bridge is only wide enough for one vehicle at a time. Now that it's a footbridge, its main use is to connect two trails, Elm Fork and the Pilot Knoll Hiking and Equestrian Trail. So it's got a foot trail and horse trail. Today it's fairly popular because of the story that goes along with it, and it's also pretty popular for photographers and the hikers.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few variants to the story that go along with Old Alton Bridge. We'll briefly cover the lesser-known ones before we get into the well-known story. Even though Alton Bridge is in the National Register of Historic Places, the bridge will live in infamy and will be known to the locals as Goatman's Bridge. Some will attribute all the things that happen to the work of Satanists who open up a portal for a hellspawn demon, while others say the Goatman's wife is eternally searching for her children that were murdered.
Okay, that's the one I know. Yeah.
Another version of the famous Goatman's Bridge legend involves a half-goat, half-man entity that guards the bridge and the forest around it. It's said that the so-called Goatman can be summoned by knocking on the bridge 3 times.
And then you gotta say its name.
Witnesses have reported sightings of goat-like beasts with glowing eyes. Others have claimed to hear sounds like hooves galloping on the bridge behind them and a growling voice ordering them to get off the bridge. There have even been accounts of people being attacked by alleged half-goat demon. At least one person who visited the bridge with a friend claimed to hear the growling voice, and after the witness ran away, their friend who had remained at the Goatman's Bridge appeared to be dragged from the edge of it and thrown into the river by an unknown entity. There's also another variant that predates the bridge itself, an account that goes back as far as to the 1860s in something titled Texas Troubles. Some Copper Canyon cowboys lynched a Creole slave goat herder named Jack Kendall from a tall creekside tree near where the bridge now stands.
And that's the one I know.
Yeah. So this happened before the bridge was built.
Yeah.
And then there's another story that happens.
So I'm familiar with one. He's familiar with it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And yeah, we'll touch on that at the end. Let's see, Tall Creekside near where the bridge now stands, but is separated by the runway. The slave's head, they separated his head from his body and left it on the bridge. That's what it was. The slavers then watched in horror as the headless body raised itself from the creek bed mud, animated by voodoo, and ripped off the head of a nearby goat to replace its own, still dangling in the noose. This will be the last little thing that is accounted for why the Goatman's Bridge has so much activity. There have been reports of sacrificial rituals performed in the woods nearby, which believers of the supernatural argue is the true case of Goatman's appearance. According to one local police officer, nearby pet stores have stopped selling cats because there were so many cats found slaughtered in a ritualistic manner in and around the area.
Hail Satan!
Oh my God.
According to the most well-circulated version, an African-American entrepreneur named Oscar Washburn and his family tended a farmstead goat herd near the bridge, and it was renowned for its quality meat, milk, cheeses, and hides. Very quickly, he would gain popularity and was growing proud of the work and success he had accomplished. Eventually, the popular businessman would proudly hang a sign on the old Alton Bridge directing "This way to the Goatman." Being the time that it was, a black man making an actual living and having success would infuriate the local Ku Klux Klansmen, who would soon plot violence in retaliation. On a dark night in the 1930s, a lynch mob of Klansmen stormed Washburn's shack, dragged the screaming Goatman from his house away from his family, all the way to their noose that was waiting on the bridge where he hung his sign. They would tighten the rope around his neck, then mercilessly flung him over the side. But when the night riders stumbled down the dark river's edge to confirm their murderous handiwork, they were shocked to find only an inexplainably empty noose dangling over an undisturbed water. The panicked Klansmen frantically searched the area, unsuccessful, before rushing to Washburn's shanty, setting it afire with the Goatman's family inside, shrieking. Perhaps a bait to find the desperately hidden Oscar Washburn. Basically draw him out as one last pry, get him to come out.
Yeah.
Washburn, though, was never seen again, they say, but a vengeful spirit has haunted the old Alton Bridge ever since. One other source gave an account of what happened after Washburn was hanged from the old Alton Bridge that night. So this is a little sidetrack.
Yeah.
So one story said that whenever they went to go check down, he was not there and the water was undisturbed. This was another story. Washburn's body was left hanging for days. Several members of the mob even returned to take photographs, selling the images as postcards in a local mercantile. Then the body simply disappeared. No one knew what became of it. Folks speculated that the rope broke and he was carried downstream, or some kind-hearted local finally cut his body down to give him a proper burial. That one came from a site that was a little bit more story-driven, so whether you take that or not, it is more horrific in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now back to the main story. Local legend says if you knock on the steel bridge 3 times at midnight, you invite the goat man's judgment. Another way to get his attention is to turn your car lights off and honk 3 times in summons. Then you dare a visitation from the vengeful goat man that's preceded by the stench of decaying flesh. Numerous reports tell of the unholy glowing eyes that burn red from darkness. Eerie glimpses of a large snarling goat-headed man-beast stomping in the wooded shadows, or a frightening apparition of a maniacal satyr carrying the heads of goats or humans in his hands. A satyr, according to Merriam-Webster, is a Sylvian deity in Greek mythology having a characteristic of a horse or a goat. Terrifying encounters are reported vanishings, and they have been so frequent as to warrant numerous investigations by multiple paranormal groups. With so many versions of this story floating around, is it possible that all are false? Some locals seem to think so, but what if even one of the alleged stories has a small bit of truth behind it? Then what? When will it be our time to go to the bridge, knock 3 times, and find out for ourselves?
Tomorrow.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, fucking Denton is pretty far.
4-hour at least drive.
Okay, maybe not tomorrow.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a place we have to go.
Eventually.
I have to say that out of all the cryptids that we've done so far, that one, to me, just, I don't know, it seems so real. And
Really?
like it, yes. Like, yeah.
So, two things.
Okay.
It's crazy how everything you listed was also in Colin's video, the Paranormal Files video. Like,
okay.
Even to like the kid being thrown off the bridge and drowning.
Oh, really?
Like that was like the most popular like real story.
Yeah.
Around like because he went into Denton, like downtown.
Yeah.
Like where we played.
Yeah.
And
J&J's Pizza.
Yeah.
If it's still there.
And he interviewed locals, and like a lot of people said,
Damn, we were right
about
there.
that.
Yeah, we were right there.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, so, and then also, I didn't know if y'all would catch it. They talked about, like, in the main story about how you would go and honk 3 times or turn your lights off.
Yeah.
That was back before
Demons.
2001, whenever they shut the bridge off. So
That was still a thing that people were saying. Like, if you knock 3 times and say his name 3 times,
I didn't see anywhere say his name.
He'll appear.
I saw everything was knocked 3 times and you just wait. Or whenever you would try to leave, you would see him in the distance. Yeah. Like he was guarding it or something like
Yeah,
that.
like, well, I mean, this all goes back to mocking the Holy Trinity too, like the 3 times, like, and you even brought up like the occult and some aspects, so that makes sense. Like the three honks, 3. I'm sure I wouldn't even be surprised if he had 3 claws. You know, like
Yeah, something like that.
yeah.
I'll have to see. I didn't look for a picture or anything.
3
but
hooves.
Yeah, is there? There's you didn't see anything?
Not
Any, like,
so. Whenever you
pictures?
look up the story, it's only the bridge. You don't see any like pictures.
I don't think there's ever been like any like.
Oh,
I'm sure there are
captured.
artist depictions.
Yeah,
there's
there's depictions, but like not actual
or like the steer
captured photos.
or the Greek mythology thing. It had like it was the half body of like almost like a centaur, but it was a kind of more.
That's
goat,
what I was
Yeah.
picturing.
more goat based.
I was. What's the satanic symbol? Is it
Baphomet.
Baphomet? Yeah, that's kind of
Baphomet's a
like.
demon.
I know, but that's kind of like where my head went. Like
Yeah.
human torso,
Yeah.
goat legs, and
Yeah.
goat head.
Isn't that interesting? Just like the idea of meshing for so long in the history of
I think-
forever that bodies of animal and human have
It's
been
because
meshed.
it's
It's
like,
unsettling.
Yeah, I think it's like
Well, but then you go to Hinduism and they have like Krishna, who is an elephant based one, and
Yeah.
they love her.
true.
You know,
That's true.
or I think that's Krishna. Who?
And Egyptians,
Yeah,
yeah, they had all their
The
gods
Sphinx.
and Anubis
Cat.
and
it's very weird how
Very
it's been
cat heads.
like. See, those are the things that it's so ingrained in our culture that
They also thought
why
that,
would it just like be there? Like there's
The Egyptians also thought that cats were like one with like the spiritual realm.
Yeah, they worshipped cats as gods.
Yeah.
Cats got treated better than the humans.
I think
It was the literal-
in Radio Rental. They're like cats. Cats have 2 feet in the real world and 2 feet in the spiritual realm.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. Dude, speaking of that, I want to play that cat simulator game so
Oh yeah, I saw it.
bad. There's literally a
I don't know
game
what that
where
is.
you're just a cat roaming around a city, and it looks
Oh my
so
God.
relaxing. And it's like how fluid it looks
Yeah.
real.
I've
Like
been
it's
seeing
crazy.
a lot of those. I
Is
saw
it,
another
is
one
it
where
better
you're a
than
rat.
Goat Simulator?
I don't know. I've never played Goat Simulator.
It's fucking awful.
Is it bad?
Try- I don't know. A lot of people play it.
I mean, it's funny, but it's awful.
Okay,
game.
so I have a question.
Okay.
Do we have the Elvira thing on this computer?
it's
Which
in my
Elvira?
Dropbox. So yes,
We should play it
Okay.
because
After stream.
like right
after
now.
pod.
No, we should just do it right
I
now.
mean, oh, you're talking
It'll
about
be
in the podcast.
Yeah, it'll be in the podcast.
Okay.
Fucking listeners are gonna not enjoy that.
We'll just have to break for a second.
Okay, well, how about we do it like that then? Yeah, we'll break and then we can upload it onto just listener audio edited to where it's more like going into the thing.
Also, I never asked you about. Did you just randomly pick a car, or is that car has
Yeah.
significance?
Yeah, why'd
in
you
your
pick that
story?
car? You picked a
The Mitsubishi something.
Oh, that was my first car.
okay.
I was like, that's too fucking like on point for you to
the
like.
Mitsubishi Galant.
Galant.
When it got cold, my doors didn't close.
Okay,
The car shrunk.
the car shrunk.
Yeah, like literally. No, the
That's literally what my
mechanism,
house
the locking
does.
mechanism to keep it closed.
That's literally what my house does. Like the back door won't close all the way.
It was a 2000
have to, like, pick it up and,
I think 2002 Mitsubishi Galant. I had a pinstripe going down the side. It was all
God.
blacked out. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, emo Joshy.
yeah. That's still me. Just I drive a mom van now.
Yeah.
You have no hair now.
Fucking rocket, bro.
Good. Well,
Okay.
this was a great episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
so
right.
for-
We're not pulling, right?
So we won't be pulling from this one because on episode 20,
Announcement.
yeah, episode 20 will be
Also live streamed.
live streamed on Saturday.
It's going to be Saturday. We in the previous episodes we said it was Friday, but we had some scheduling conflicts come up.
Oh, really?
So we're doing it Saturday night, June 4th.
I'm guessing we're gonna
Yeah,
start
June
it a little
4th.
earlier than normal, right?
I mean, we don't. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But
Norm-
we'll just need to start promoing and everything.
Yeah, totally.
If you're listening
And,
to this, make sure you're there on
Don't-
Saturday.
Yeah. So if you're just a podcast listener or viewer on YouTube or whatever, it's just going to be a normal episode for you. This is incentive for you to come check out the live stream over on twitch.tv/Drifter Voyages. We will be playing a horror feud game. It's a family feud, but horror themed.
You want to show them the button?
Huh?
We have
The
a
buttons. we
Not
have.
right now.
Oh yeah,
We'll
leave,
unveil
that'll be a
that.
surprise.
But yeah, we're playing a
Not
game
special.
after the podcast recording live on Twitch. So be here Saturday, June 4th. Yee.
And just
Yeah,
keep an eye
Kolby
out.
worked really hard on this, and
If you're
Caleb.
if you're just a podcast listener, it's tomorrow because this comes out on Friday.
oh, that's
Yeah.
right, it does
Yeah.
come out tomorrow.
Yeah,
Tomorrow night.
This
Or
is we're
comes out
just
Friday.
letting you know now that try to be there, even if you don't get on Twitch or anything. Make an account real quick or something.
Yeah.
You don't even have to, do you?
To watch, yeah. I
Oh, to
believe so.
watch?
I think
Oh.
so. I could be wrong.
And that is we're CST, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
Central Chicago time.
Yeah, Chicago.
So yeah,
It'll be a fun one, and then after that, I'm sure we'll delve into it a little bit more on that episode about like kind of the future of what's going on here.
yeah, we're gonna
And,
really
and I
talk
think-
about a lot of stuff.
yeah. I think so. That episode is free reign stories.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We're not going to draw,
Yeah.
so we can do whatever we want.
I have a couple of that I've been sitting on that I've just been waiting to unveil.
Do I?
It's almost daunting for me because I like having like an idea to go.
Yeah,
off of.
I get what you're saying.
But
It's
I'll-
like structure.
Yeah, exactly. You have a direction.
Yeah. Well, all right then. So then
We
I
gotta-
guess that
we gotta
is.
end the season on a.
That's
on
right.
a wild
And
bang.
We got 20 episodes, guys, in like what 3 months?
Has it been 3 months? I feel like it's less than
about
that.
2.5. I think.
2.5 months. So we did 20 episodes.
Because we started.
There are
in the
podcasts
middle,
that I binge and they're like 15 episodes and it took them 2 years. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Because we started in the middle of March, didn't we?
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Speaking of which, I met some new podcasters on the Insta. The name of the podcast is No Man's Land, and that shit is sick.
Okay.
Like, I started listening to it and got through a couple episodes. It's fucking nice.
Nice. Go
Gotcha.
check them out.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Do you need the outro?
Oh, yeah, sure. All right, so here we go. Outro. That's it for episode 19 of Dead Reflections Podcast. We'd like to shout out our friends in Terraform Podcast, Dark Hour Podcast, and our buddies in Hauntedly Podcast. Here is a short clip of what that podcast is all about. We encourage y'all to give them a listen and check them out.
Follow us at Dead Reflections Podcast on all social medias, or follow the link tree to find our socials: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the video version of this podcast on YouTube. And we don't add it in here, but if you're listening, twitch.tv/Drifter Voyages to watch us live. Email us at deadreflectionspod@gmail.com to submit your stories. Let us know how you're doing, or let Josh know how much you don't like his hat. All band-related socials can be found at FWFTX.
Don't eat your microphone.
Please don't forget to leave a rating or review anywhere you listen. They really do help us and get our name out there to find new listeners. Thank you all for your continued support. And remember, tell your family, tell your friends, and tell the monsters under your bed to listen to Dead Reflections Podcast. Have a spoopy night.